If your life lacks wealth, it's not because riches are absent. It's because your thoughts are out of order. You think the world must shift first, but the world only reflects what you think. Riches don't arrive through force or luck. They reveal themselves to the man who trains his mind to see them. You are surrounded by opportunity, by law, by gold, and yet you may walk blind. The blind man misses treasure, not because it isn't there, but because his sight was never trained. And just like that, you've walked past wealth, not due to its absence, but because your mind was untrained to see it. You were born into a sea of abundance, but the sea won't fill your cup until you lift your vessel. Your vessel is thought. Your guide is faith. Your captain is decision. And unless these are disciplined, your ship never sets sail. I tell you, riches are not first earned by the hands. They are commanded by the mind. Until you think in riches, you will move through life in lack. Until you rule your subconscious, you will drift in fear. Until your aim becomes law, your life will reflect disorder. Your thoughts run wild, untamed, proud like horses without reins. But you weren't born to be ruled by them. You were born to master them. You must break the mind, harness it, and direct it toward definite riches. This is not fantasy. This is law. Don't ask where your wealth is. Ask where your attention is. Attention is the seed of wealth. Controlled thought is the lever that turns the world. It's not opportunity you lack. It's mental command. This message will give you 8 iron laws, 8 mental disciplines to train your mind to think in wealth, in power, in service, in abundance. Not once, not when it's convenient. Daily, repeatedly, rhythmically, because what you repeat, you become, and what you become, you attract. Carnegie built with this. Ford expanded with it. Edison lit the world through it. Rockefeller walked silently in wealth because he trained his mind to think in empires. They weren't lucky. They weren't chosen. They were obedient. They thought according to law. They spoke with belief. They taught their subconscious to repeat only the image of definite purpose. They moved quietly. They acted as if the future had already arrived, and so it did. Now it's your turn. You will not think as you've thought. You will no longer rehearse doubt, entertain fear, speak confusion. You will now learn to think in wealth, walk with belief, act with purpose, and sow daily seeds of power. These laws aren't for the casual. They aren't for drifters, doubters, or the passive. They're for the builder, the doer, the silent one who declares, I will think in riches until I become them. Take this seriously. The power you're about to use has built kingdoms. It's laid railroads, shaped cities, and pulled fortunes from air. It isn't outside you, it's within. Now we begin. Now we train the mind. Now we plant only riches. Now we repeat only belief. Now we become the man wealth must obey. We begin with the first law. Speak it aloud. I train my mind to think only in riches. I speak only in wealth. I become what I command. The first law is this. The mind must be dominated by a definite chief aim, not inspired, not influenced, dominated. No man commands wealth with scattered thought. No ship arrives without a destination. No life yields abundance without one ruling purpose. Clear, deep, defined. Most men never define their aim. They drift. They rise and react to noise. Their thoughts are borrowed. Their time sold cheap. Their action guided by demands, not direction. So they earn enough to survive, never enough to command. If you seek wealth, the first step isn't labor. It is clarity. You must sit, alone, and ask, what do I desire above all else? What single aim deserves my thought, my faith, my discipline, and my devotion? Until this is answered, every effort is waste. Every move is blind. Carnegie gave me this order. He said, young man, write down the purpose of your life. Until that is done, you are working against the laws of wealth. I obeyed, and I was never the same. From then, I stopped wandering. I began commanding. Write this now. My definite chief aim is the governing law of my mind. My thoughts have no choice but to serve this aim. I don't write it as a wish. Don't write it as a hope. Write it as law. Your mind is a government. Your aim is its constitution. Every thought must obey it. Every word must reinforce it. Every action must serve it. All else must be cast out. Until your aim is written, it is just air. Until it is spoken, it is only fantasy. Until it's etched into your subconscious through repetition, it's just a seed on stone. Don't say you're too busy to write your aim. That's like saying a farmer is too busy to plant. That's drifter's talk, not builder's discipline. You have time. What you need is decision. Say this aloud. I give my mind no option but to obey my aim. I think in alignment with wealth. I reject all scattered thought. A vague mind produces a vague life. A man who thinks riches, then fear, then pleasure, then worry, has already chosen failure. The mind cannot serve two masters. It is ruled by your aim, or ruled by drift. I repeat the law. Until your chief aim becomes your master thought, wealth will not obey you. The riches you seek must be summoned by thought, sustained by faith, embedded by repetition, and confirmed by action. Read your aim aloud every morning before the world speaks. Let your voice be the first law your mind hears. Speak it boldly. Stand tall. Speak like a builder, not a beggar. Read it again at night. Sleep with it etched on your imagination. If you feel silly speaking it, it means doubt still rules inside you. Drown it out. Speak until you believe. Believe until you forget what doubt felt like. When your subconscious hears the same command day after day with emotion, it accepts it as truth. And once it accepts it, it works nonstop to bring it to life. People, timing, insight, doors, all aligned for the man with a definite mind. Don't hide your aim. Post it. Pocket it. Let it live in your voice and your eyes. Let your friends call you obsessed. Obsession is the fee of greatness. Let the world mock. Let it drift. You will obey law, and law will reward you. Repeat. My aim is written. My aim is spoken. My aim is felt. My aim is law. If your mind isn't ruled by one mighty purpose, it will be ruled by countless small impulses. That is not wealth. That is bondage. You must choose. Will you command riches or react to life? You cannot build wealth in fragments. You cannot grow an oak from scattered seeds. You must plant one aim. Water it with belief. Guard it with discipline. Speak it with fire. Act on it daily. This is the first law. Without it, the rest are powerless. No amount of reading, wishing, or effort will replace it. You must define your purpose. Write it. Read it aloud. Repeat it until your mind becomes the servant of that one idea. Speak this with power. I do not live in confusion. I do not drift. I do not divide my energy. I live by purpose. I live by law. I live by my chief aim. Now do not continue listening until you have obeyed. Take your pen. Take the page. Use your voice. Write the aim. Speak it aloud. Read it tonight. Return tomorrow, not as a wanderer, but as one who has decided. Let us proceed to the next law. The subconscious does not argue. It does not question. It obeys whatever is repeated. Each time you speak, it records. Each image imagined, it engraves. Each feeling believed, it plants. The subconscious becomes what is rehearsed. Men remain poor not from lack of desire, but from rehearsing poverty in their minds. They speak of debt, dwell in hardship, expect loss. They imagine misfortune, and the obedient mind replies, as you wish, and so the world follows suit. You must choose. What shall I repeat? Because repetition is power. Repetition is law. Repetition makes belief your nature. It's not one burst of inspiration that changes a life. It's what you whisper hour by hour that molds your world. Repeat this aloud now. I do not repeat fear. I do not repeat confusion. I do not repeat limits. I repeat wealth. I repeat law. I repeat power. You don't get what you wish. You get what your mind returns to all day. Desire must be trained like a planted seed. You don't just plant once. You water. You guard. You speak over it daily. And so it is with wealth of mind. Edison didn't invent the light bulb by luck. He imagined it, then mentally rehearsed it thousands of times before it ever glowed. The idea was born first in the mind. Repeat it until the world had to obey. You must do the same. Repeat prosperity over and over until your mind refuses to accept anything less. Write this now. I build riches. My thoughts command money. My service is rewarded. My life is guided by purpose. I attract wealth by nature. Say them aloud. Say them with power. Say them again tonight, again tomorrow. Say them until your voice no longer shakes, until your heart no longer doubts, until your world starts bending to your mind. Most men whisper wealth, but shout their fear. You must do the opposite. Declare riches. Go silent on doubt. Let your speech reflect your vision. Let your vision match your aim. And let your aim be repeated until your subconscious no longer resists. Understand this. Your subconscious is fertile ground. It does not choose the seed. You do. If you plant weeds, worry, doubt, delay, you'll reap the same. But if you plant riches and water them with words, you'll harvest in time. Repeat now. My mind accepts only prosperity. My words speak only belief. My vision sees only wealth. This is not hope. This is control. You must train your inner voice to expect wealth, your inner eye to see abundance, your tongue to speak in line with your aim. Don't say I'll try. Say I will. Don't say I hope. Say I've chosen. Remove weakness from your vocabulary. Let your speech forge your faith. Each word strengthens the root. Each declaration lays the brick. Each repetition clears the weeds. And if done daily, you'll find your outside world reflecting your inner order. You must protect your repetition. Guard your circle. A man cannot speak riches while sitting with critics. He cannot affirm abundance while gossiping about lack. Your surroundings must match your spoken law. If your environment mocks your belief, withdraw. If friends weaken your repetition, detach. If the air poisons your mind, change it.
The wealth builder must guard his garden with fire. Say this now. I repeat my law until it becomes my language. I speak riches until I feel them. I speak purpose until I become it. The worst mistake is inconsistency. To affirm wealth in the morning, then speak fear by noon, is to water the seed and burn it with oil. The subconscious cannot serve two voices. Give it one, and that voice must be wealth. This is how the law of cosmic habit force takes over. When a thought is repeated enough, it becomes permanent. When permanent, it becomes routine. When routine, the world obeys. Repeat this final affirmation today. I do not wait for riches. I think them into being. I do not beg for success. I declare its law. I do not hope. I decide. Now take the next hour and repeat. Take your aim. Take your affirmations. Speak them. Write them. Say them again tonight. Do it not once, but every day. Repetition is the chisel. It sculpts your mind into a magnet for wealth. Now let us move forward. But hear this. No man can fill his mind with wealth while it is still filled with doubt. The seed of riches cannot grow in poisoned soil. And doubt, silent, subtle, deadly is poison. You must cleanse the mind.
You must silence the voice of uncertainty. You must rip out the root of fear before the root of fortune can grow. Most men live with doubt as if it were an old friend. They feed it with thought. They echo it without realizing they accept it as truth, simply because it sounds familiar. But hear me now. Doubt is not truth. Doubt is noise. It is your enemy. And if you do not conquer it, it will conquer you in silence. Ask yourself, whose voice is this that says I can't? Is it mine, or did I inherit it from a fearful parent, a limiting teacher, or the sting of failure? Never forget, fear is not natural to the mind. It is taught, and what is taught can be unlearned. Write this now. I reject doubt. It is false. I believe in my wealth before it appears. I speak my success into existence. Abraham Lincoln was mocked, rejected, despised, yet he pressed forward. Not because he was praised, but because he was governed by inner law. His belief wasn't built on applause. It was forged in solitude, hammered into place through decision, repetition, and duty. This is how belief is made, not by emotion, but by command. You do not wait to feel strong to believe. You believe because you choose to. You repeat belief until it roots deeper than feeling, deeper than memory. You speak it until it becomes real. Take your aim. Take your affirmations. Stand before yourself each morning. Speak them out loud. Say them until the voice of doubt is drowned. Say them until belief rises. Say them until fear has no breath left. Here is your exercise. Write down your most persistent doubt, the one that echoes in your mind. I'm not ready. I don't have enough. What if I fail? Write it, burn it, and replace it with truth. I am ready. I move now because I have decided. I build wealth because I was born to command it. Doubt is not reason. It is emotion, and emotion must be overpowered by emotion. You cannot argue your way out of fear. You must declare your way out. The subconscious responds to feeling, not logic. So speak with fire. Speak with rhythm. Speak with strength until your mind obeys. Do not entertain weak self-talk. You cannot speak lack and expect abundance. You cannot think fear and produce strength. What you speak is your signal. What you repeat becomes your command, and your subconscious listens to it all. Say this aloud now. I no longer entertain doubt. I no longer serve fear. I no longer believe the voice that tells me to delay. A mind ruled by fear cannot see wealth, even when it stands right in front of it. It sees opportunity and calls it risk. It sees risk and calls it death. But belief reverses the lens. Belief sharpens your vision. Belief unlocks the door to infinite intelligence. Most ask, what if it fails? But the wealthy ask, what if it works? Most say, it's not time. But the rich say, this is the moment. Doubt delays. Belief initiates. Take 10 minutes every morning and every evening to rehearse belief. Sit still. Repeat your aim. Repeat your affirmations. Declare, I am the man who builds wealth. I am the man who walks in faith. I am the man who has outgrown fear. Continue until the resistance fades. You will know when belief takes over. You'll feel the weight lift. The voice of hesitation will fall silent, and you will act, not because it's easy, but because fear is no longer your identity. If you miss a day, begin again. If you feel weak, speak louder. If you forget, forgive and restart. You don't need perfection, just repetition. The law does not demand flawlessness. It demands obedience. Say this now with certainty. My mind no longer belongs to doubt. I train it to believe. I feed it faith. I guide it with power. And now, act on that belief today. Take one bold step. Make one firm move in the direction of your aim. Not later, not perfect. Now, each act of belief strengthens identity. Each identity shapes destiny. This is law. Belief is not passive. Belief is forged through daily declaration and consistent action. Belief is not inherited. It is earned. And once earned, it becomes unstoppable. The poor man looks at the world and sees scarcity. He says there's not enough money, time, help, power. And by that perception, he is proven right. But the wealthy do not ask what's missing. They ask what's possible. They train their eyes to see wealth, even in struggle, even in failure. You must recondition your inner lens. Every situation carries value, but only the trained mind sees it. Gold hides in the earth, but only the miner finds it. Opportunity is hidden in people, problems, moments, but only the prepared recognize it. Say this aloud. I see wealth everywhere. I train my eyes to find value. I do not complain. I convert. A man is not poor because the world lacks value, but because he lacks the vision to see it. The builder sees failure and extracts a lesson. The drifter sees failure and runs. The builder sees waste and builds systems. The drifter sees effort and quits. When Henry Ford looked at the chaos of manual labor and steel scraps, he didn't despair. He saw order. He saw systems. He saw flow. He invented the assembly line not by chance, but because his mind was trained to ask, how can this serve my aim? That must become your question every day. How can this serve my definite chief aim? When mocked, there is strength to be found. When something is lost, there is wisdom to be gained. When time feels wasted, there is insight hidden beneath it. When nothing seems to move, your mind must be sharpening. There is no moment without potential, but you must choose to see it. You must repeat belief, not only in yourself, but in your surroundings. The builder declares, all things are working for me, and so they do. The drifter complains, everything is against me, and so it is. Your thoughts form the lens through which riches are seen, or missed. Repeat now, everything around me holds value. I search for it. I recognize it. I claim it. This is not magic. This is mental training. The subconscious becomes magnetic, once shaped by repetition, belief, and clarity of aim. It begins to scan. It begins to attract. It begins to pull in people, timing, ideas, all aligned with your goal. You do not need to force the door. You need to become the man who sees it. You do not need to hope for wealth. You must train the mind that finds wealth. Where others see dust, you will see diamonds. And your speech must match this belief. Never say, I can't afford it. Say, I am learning to command greater riches. Never say, this is useless. Say, what can I extract from this? Never say, this is bad luck. Say, this is refinement. Words spoken return to the mind with more power. They are not idle. They are instructions. Speak discovery. Speak value. Speak growth. Speak riches. And soon your eyes will see what your subconscious has been trained to find. Take this with you today. Write down 5 small moments where you spotted opportunity, where others might have seen only loss. Train the muscle. Sharpen your sight. Learn to detect wealth. Say this, my eyes are not for fear. My eyes are trained for riches. My mind does not complain. It commands. Do not ignore the small moments. A stranger's word, a delay, an inconvenience. These are not empty. They are tools for the mind that knows how to use them. Most men discard them. The wealthy man studies them, turns them, extracts value. This isn't optimism. This is precision. Riches are not hiding. They are present, always were. But most fail to see them because their minds are untrained, scattered, and unprepared to receive. Say this aloud. I see riches in the air. I see value in my work. I see power in every moment. When your mind is trained to see wealth, each day becomes harvest. Each challenge becomes fuel. Each delay becomes direction. You will no longer walk as a beggar. You will walk as a builder. You will no longer wait for your break. You will create one. You become a threat to poverty because you've shed the lens of limitation. You now walk with the vision of kings. This is law. The world conforms to your belief, and you will never attract wealth if you believe it is scarce. You must think in abundance. You must search for advantage. You must speak in command and walk in gratitude. Don't drift through this law. Live it, practice it, write it, speak it, and what once passed you by will now rise to meet you. Let us now move to the next law. You cannot think in wealth while surrounded by noise. You cannot access power with a distracted mind, and you cannot train the subconscious when the world speaks louder than your purpose. Silence is the sanctuary of riches. Silence is where wealth is conceived. Silence is where the mind meets law. Every man who has built an empire has made space for solitude. Wealth is born in quiet. Carnegie strategized alone. Ford dreamed in solitude. Edison withdrew to invent. Rockefeller walked not to escape but to listen to the whisper of thought, to the voice of purpose, to the guidance of infinite intelligence. Now you must build your own chamber of silence, a sacred space, not defined by walls or cushions, but by protected time. No noise, no interruptions, no errands, just your aim, just your affirmations, just the clear image of your future. Say this, in silence I grow stronger, in stillness
my wealth multiplies. I do not speak confusion. I sit in command. This is not luxury. It is necessity. Your subconscious cannot take instruction through noise. It cannot process scattered thought. If your day is ruled by interruption, your fortune will be ruled by delay. Silence is the forge where thought becomes command. The drifter fears silence because silence reveals his thoughts. But the man of purpose enters silence like a king enters council. He reviews the plan. He repeats the aim. He imagines the future until it burns like fire in the dark. Repeat this. My mind does not wander. My mind returns to purpose. My mind speaks wealth in silence. You must schedule silence as you would schedule labor, morning or night, but daily. This is your appointment with riches, your counsel with intelligence. It is not optional. It is foundational. In this time, speak your aim, whisper your affirmations, then close your eyes. Visualize in color, in motion. Don't imagine lazily. Imagine with control. Imagine with direction. Don't wish, rehearse. Say, I see myself as wealthy. I see myself in command. I see myself surrounded by riches, earned through law, purpose, and service.
You will be tempted to skip this. The noise of the world will call. But remember, noise is the enemy of direction. Noise distracts. Silence restores. Each minute spent in silent direction strengthens your magnet. It rewrites your subconscious to serve one master, wealth. It replaces doubt with rhythm. It sharpens belief. Know this. It is not effort alone that builds fortune. It is focused thought. 1 minute of deliberate imagination is worth more than 1,000 hours of busy labor. But that imagination must be trained in silence, not in noise. Say this, I train in silence. I rehearse wealth in stillness. I leave the world and return with power. Soon this habit becomes your anchor. When fear strikes, you return to silence. When plans falter, you return to silence. When others panic, you return to silence. And from that silence you rise. Steady, clear, sure. For it is in silence that infinite intelligence speaks. Not in noise, not in chaos, but in the quiet place where belief echoes the loudest. Take this seriously. Make the time. Protect the space. Speak your aim. Visualize your future. Feel it. Declare it. Repeat it. Silence is not emptiness. It is where riches are born. If you say, I will become rich, but delay. If you declare, I am powerful, but hesitate. If you claim, I obey my purpose, but drift, then your subconscious rejects the law. It hears contradiction. Now decide. I prove my belief by action. I show my faith by doing. I walk as though the vision is already mine. Even if my body trembles, even if my voice shakes, even if the world doubts, I will act. Andrew Carnegie built his empire during recession, while others sought safety. He built not because it was easy, but because his belief was founded on law, not approval. Repeat, I act before the world approves. I speak before it applauds. I build before it believes. This is how the mind becomes rich through action. You don't wait to feel ready. You don't wait to be seen. You don't seek applause. You command your body. You obey your instructions. Move even one step, as every step is proof. Action trains the subconscious to believe. You write your aim, declare your vision, then act. Even the smallest move confirms it, and belief grows. Action is the water to the seed of thought. Without it, the seed dies. Every act of discipline strengthens the root. Every task completed toward your aim speaks to the subconscious. This man is serious. Let go of what if it doesn't work. Ask instead, what is my next move? Don't wait for perfect conditions. Move with what you have. Don't study endlessly. Apply what you know. The man who acts even imperfectly is closer to riches than the man waiting for perfection. Repeat, I move daily in law. I take command. I build before the world collapses. Create a daily pattern. Choose 3 tasks each morning that serve your aim. Complete them before noon. Each task is a brick. Each brick builds a wall. Each wall creates the mansion of your destiny. If doubt arises, move anyway. If fear whispers, move anyway. If no one notices, move anyway. Action answers resistance. It is your sword against procrastination. It is your shield against uncertainty. The man who acts becomes a magnet. Opportunities appear. People respond. Doors open. Not because he begged, but because he walked forward, declaring himself worthy through effort. Say this now. I act. I build. I obey. My wealth grows because my movement is constant. You cannot sit and expect reward. You must plant. You must tend. You must water. This is done through movement, obedience to the voice you declared in silence. Results may not come immediately, but every action sharpens your tools. Every task refines your mind. Every step carves the man you become. In time, the world matches your inner obedience with outer increase. Let this be your creed. I do not drift. I do not delay. I take my purpose, and I act. Now the next law. You were not born to chase coins. You were born to build value. The man who makes riches may seek dollars, but he never knows true wealth. Money is not master. It is servant. It follows value. It obeys the law of service. The greatest fortunes were built not by greed, but by service rendered with abundant payment. This is the habit of going the extra mile. This law turns work into a magnet for riches, not labor alone, but quality service, joyfully given. Say aloud, I do not chase gold. I build value. I give more than I am paid. I sow service and reap abundance. Charles Schwab did not beg for power. He served beyond his title, worked beyond his hours, thought beyond his role's demands, and Carnegie gave him the keys to empire. Why? Because he who gives more is trusted with more. This law is unavoidable. To receive compensation, first earn confidence. To earn greater pay, give greater value. To attract riches, become a man whose thoughts and labor cannot be ignored. Speak now. I am a giver of value. I think in service. I am worthy of wealth because I serve first. Service is not submission. It is strategy. It is how you rise. It proves your mind's value. Your presence is power. Your touch is gold. No man ever fell by giving more than expected. Many have risen by it. The poor say, they don't pay me enough. The builder says, I am becoming the man they cannot afford to ignore. The poor do the minimum. The rich over-deliver, not for applause, but for power. Repeat, I serve with excellence. I give beyond the contract. I make my name too valuable to overlook. Don't wait for more money to work better. Work better, and money will follow. Don't wait for praise to shine. Shine now, and soon praise and pay will come. This is law, not theory. The subconscious must love service, not because it is noble, but because it is profitable. Every act of over-delivery strengthens your value and identity. Every time you exceed demand, you open a new channel for abundance. Right now, today I will do more than required. Today I will serve better than expected. I will become too valuable to stay where I am. Watch your mind shift. You stop complaining. You start creating. You stop waiting. You start giving. In giving, you grow. In growth, you earn. In earning, you lead. Let others drift through duties. You will rise by design. Let others scoff at work. You will turn work into wealth. Let others seek shortcuts. You will build permanence. Repeat, I rise through service. I lead through excellence. I become wealthy through usefulness. Wealth is not gained by what you keep, but by what you give that multiplies you. You don't rise by holding back. You rise by planting seeds in others no one can ignore. Carnegie said no man can grow rich without enriching others, and he was right. Riches are not hoarded, they circulate through creation. If you create more, give more, improve more, you will be entrusted with more. Make it your duty not just to complete tasks, but to elevate them. Not just to meet expectations, but to exceed them. Not just to earn pay, but to earn the right to decide your pay. This is law. He who serves richly is rewarded richly. He who offers more earns more. He who thinks in service rises in power, and power becomes wealth, earned by principle, sustained by discipline. Now say with strength, I give more than I am paid. I create more than I promise. I build my fortune by building others. The final law awaits. Thought alone is not enough. Speech alone is not enough. Even action, though vital, is not the last key. You must think until you become. Repeat until repetition is your nature. Affirm until affirmation is your identity. Obey until obedience is instinct. This is the final principle. Prosperity is not a single act. It is a nature formed by law, belief, and consistency. You are not poor because you lack money. You are poor because you have not become the man who commands money through thought, service, and will. Say aloud, I think until I become. I repeat until I transform. I obey until I embody the law. Cosmic habit governs all. Force governs thought repeated. Thought repeated becomes belief. Belief repeated becomes behavior. Behavior repeated becomes identity. Identity fixed becomes destiny. Do not wish to be rich. Become the man to whom riches flow naturally. That is not magic. It is training. It is obedience. Daily reading your aim. Daily affirmations of wealth. Daily silence. Daily service. Daily motion. This is the ritual of transformation. It is not done once. It is done until you are no longer who you were. Say now, I do not pretend to be rich. I become rich. I do not borrow belief. I build it. I do not hope. I become. Many start the journey of prosperity, but grow weary before arrival. Why? Because they misunderstand. They believe they act to get something, but they act to become something. You are not training the world. You are training your inner world. You are convincing your subconscious. You are no longer a drifter, a beggar, or a man of confusion. You declare through repetition, obedience, command, I am the man who possesses riches because I possess law. Look at the builders. Ford thought industrial wealth into being and never stopped thinking it. Rockefeller expanded despite critics calling him ruthless. Edison brought light to darkness and never doubted after 10,000 failures. You are no different. You are made of the same substance. But you must become intolerant of drift. You must become addicted to repetition. You must burn your aims into your subconscious so deeply that even in sleep, trouble, or confusion, your mind returns to law. Repeat, I am not who I was. I am who I repeat myself to be. I obey law until I embody it. This is why exercises matter. This is why silence matters. This is why faith matters. You are not performing tasks. You are building self. You are shaping a being. You are molding a consciousness that no longer tolerates lack. You will know you have become when you do not question if you will be rich. You know it when you walk as if it is done, when you do not seek applause, because your movement is rooted in command, not permission. This must happen. Move from repetition to embodiment, from obedience to identity, from learning law to becoming law. Right now, with power, I am a man of wealth. I am a mind of power. I am an embodiment of thought controlled by law. That is your final seed. Now nurture it with the repetition of all the laws you've learned. A mind fixed on definite purpose, a heart free of doubt, full of belief, runner's eyes trained to see wealth everywhere, a will grounded in silence, action aligned with aim, service beyond measure, identity carved by repetition and lived effortlessly. This is your new standard. You do not act wealthy. You are wealthy. You do not think riches. You are riches in form. You do not chase results. You carry the cause. Repeat one last time. I do not drift. I do not delay. I do not deviate. I have become. Now begin tomorrow with the first law. Do not skip. Do not soften. Do not drift. Plant the thought. Speak the aim. Act the identity. Give the service. Enter the silence. Walk in law. And in time, the world will conform to the man you have become. You have completed the instruction. Now go forth and live it until it lives in you.